In this lecture, we will be discussing altruism in canines. Before we delve into what altruism or altruistic behavior is, let us remind ourselves of some basic principles of the theory of natural selection. The theory states that natural selection favors behaviors that maximize or increase an organism's reproductive fitness. As a reminder, reproductive fitness simply means an organism's likelihood or ability to produce offspring and pass on its genes. Here we can see modeled an organism with low reproductive fitness on the left and a high reproductive fitness on the right. This information regarding natural selection indicates that organisms will typically behave in ways that increase their own probability of survival and reproduction, not those of others. Now, with this background knowledge in mind, we will begin to see just how and why altruism is so important. Altruism is defined as behavior that benefits other organisms at a cost to itself. It is important, however, to distinguish between psychological altruism, which in humans is defined as behavior with the intention of benefiting someone else, while biological altruism is defined by a cost benefit. This means that behaviors that reduce an organism's own reproductive fitness but increase the fitness of others are considered to be altruistic. General examples of altruistic behavior in the animal kingdom include vampire bats donating food to members that have been unable to feed, meerkats scanning for predators and alerting pack members, and primates grooming other primates. Here we will of course be discussing altruistic behaviors in canines, and this is their classification. As all canines are in one family, the different species within share much of the same behaviors. We will be examining three specific species of canids: Canis lupus, the gray wolf; Lycaon pictus, the African wild dog; and Canis familiaris, the domestic dog. To fully appreciate altruism in canines, we will first discuss the organization importance of their social structure. Then we will explore some of the cooperative behaviors of canines that exemplify altruism, such as hunting, rearing pups, and protecting others. And then we will consider interspecific altruistic behaviors, meaning altruism between different species, namely between canines and humans. And finally, we will explore the role of genetics in altruism and if hereditary altruism exists. The social structure of canines takes the form of a dominance hierarchy, as we see here on the right. This hierarchy is composed of a highly complex social unit consisting of an extended family of parents, offspring, siblings, aunts, uncles, and occasionally unrelated dispersers. The hierarchy is based on familial relationships and shared experiences and helps minimize conflict and maintains order within the group. Subordinates generally defer to the dominant individuals. Within this structure, where each member knows their role, strong social bonds are formed. Social bonds are the glue of the pack and are crucial for its overall stability. These social relations are indeed so important; without them, cooperative activities would seldom occur. Cooperative activities, which we will discuss in detail, are the essence that facilitates communication, coordination, collaboration, and ultimately all altruistic behaviors. Now that we understand the social structure within which altruism may arise, let us now take a deeper look at some of these cooperative behaviors. Collaborative hunting is a staple behavior of canines. Typically, they hunt together as a pack directed by the alpha pair. Hunts are cooperative, strategic, and require individual sacrifice. Research conducted by McNulty and colleagues on the influence of group size on the success of wolves hunting bison and body size and predatory performance in wolves indicates that each wolf has a role that complements the others, illustrating coordination and teamwork. Packs organize themselves tactically when targeting large prey like moose or bison, surrounding the animal and attacking from different angles. Some wolves initiate the chase, while others block escape routes and lie in ambush. Lead hunters take on the most active and dangerous roles during pursuit. They are most likely to incur physical harm while attempting to exhaust and distract prey. Supporting wolves attack once the prey has been worn down, and when their prey is finally killed, the alpha pair is the first to eat, followed by the subordinates. This level of cooperative hunting is a clear display of altruism. Each pack member restrains their immediate self-benefit, adheres to their role, and potentially risks their life, all for the benefit of the collective. If wolves acted independently based on self-interest during the hunts instead, injuries could arise and prey may escape more frequently. A 37-year study of one wolf pack in Canada is indicative of further altruism in hunting. The study found that adult wolves would regularly bring meat from fresh kills back to older or injured pack members that could not actively hunt on their own. African wild dogs hunt in much the same way as wolves do, but one significant difference in their hunting behavior provides another example of altruism. This species shows a pronounced tolerance and even active sharing of food resources. When they make a kill, the pack's hunters allow the young, old, and sick dogs to eat first, before the dominant pair. Like wolves, they also transport and regurgitate food for those that are not present at a kill. Rearing is the process of caring for pups until maturity. All pack members contribute to this task. When the female is pregnant, the alpha male and other pack members take on the responsibility of providing her with food. This support helps ensure she receives adequate nutrition during the important period of gestation. In some cases, pack members might even bring food directly to the pregnant female. Packs also engage in communal nursing and feeding. This means that adult pack members and even juvenile siblings will often regurgitate food to feed hungry pups. Females other than the mother will also nurse pups. Studies have indicated that communal feeding by relatives accounts for nearly 25% of all pup feeding. Further demonstrating altruism, one or two adults may stay behind to guard and babysit the pups while other adults hunt. Though it sacrifices their own hunting opportunity, this sentinel behavior protects vulnerable young of the pack, ensuring their success. Research conducted in 2008 by Scott Brainerd and colleagues on the effects of breeder loss on wolves has found evidence that in the event that the mother of a litter dies, wolf packs will conscientiously care for and feed orphaned offspring via allo-nursing, even at a biological cost to non-maternal females. These behaviors extend to all canines, including coyotes, wild dogs, and our domesticated dogs. This cooperative rearing of young is a notable example of altruism among canines, as once again we see pack members behave in ways that increase the reproductive fitness of others at the expense of themselves. In situations where the pack is under threat, individual wolves may engage in behaviors that involve personal risk. For example, some wolves might confront a larger predator to draw attention away from the rest of the pack, or engage in distracting tactics to allow others to escape. When the pack faces a threat, individual wolves may engage in collective defense, including forming a united front, vocalizing to intimidate a threat, and coordinating movements to protect vulnerable members. Wolves work together to protect the den, especially during critical times like when the alpha female is pregnant or when pups are present. Pack members, including the alpha male, actively engage in defending the den from potential threats, including other predators or intruding wolves. African wild dogs exhibit a mobbing behavior when they encounter competition from larger carnivores like lions or hyenas over a kill. Multiple members of the pack will work together by loudly vocalizing and harassing the intruding predators rather than fleeing. They do this to try to retain their hard-won food source for the benefit of the entire pack. Even though wild dogs are much smaller and more lightweight compared to lions and hyenas, by mobbing in a coordinated way, they can successfully drive the larger competitor animals away. However, this cooperative defense does carry significant risks of injury or death. One study in Selous Game Reserve in Tanzania found that a shocking 68% of wild dog mortalities were a result of injuries sustained during aggressive encounters with other predators over food sources or territorial disputes. In these examples, altruism is clearly evident by pack members risking their own reproductive fitness to benefit others. The survival of the group takes clear priority over individual self-preservation. Now that we understand how altruism is displayed through some of the cooperative behaviors of canines, we can see that their altruistic behaviors actually extend beyond their own species. As is evident to anyone who has owned a dog, their behaviors show altruism towards humans in multiple ways. First and foremost, dogs will protect their non-canine pack members just as fervently as wolves do. Any dog barking at a stranger through the fence of a house is actually risking their own reproductive fitness to protect and increase the fitness of other members. Additionally, dogs are cooperative hunters, and they also engage in a variety of collaborative and coordinated activity with humans, such as emotional support work or search and rescue. A 2016 study by Pierre Joventine and colleagues has found that undomesticated wolves will also exhibit altruism towards humans. Their studies showed that 4 different wolves that were raised by families could be triggered repeatedly to exhibit cooperative behaviors that protected human pack members. This research is highly indicative of a genetic factor in regard to altruistic behavior. These photos here are from the study showing that the wolves would attempt to protect the human pack members from unknown or perceived dangers, such as the bathtub or climbing out of a window. Now, finally, we will discuss the role of genetics. Joventin's 2016 study showed that wolves retain altruistic behavior even when removed from the natural environment. This means that altruism does not need to be taught, it is innate. The study goes on to conclude that such hereditary altruistic behaviors may have been transferred by descent to the first dogs, which helped our ancestors hunt large animals and fight against other human tribes and wild carnivores. A 2019 study by Juliane Brouwer on dogs and wolves coordinate with conspecifics in a social dilemma uphold Joventin's findings. The research concludes that dogs and wolves share a common ancestor, and thus, if particular cooperative skills are found in both modern species, which there are, it is highly likely, the study says, that this trait already existed in common ancestors. So from all of this, we can extrapolate that altruism does indeed seem to be genetic. In conclusion, we have learned that biological altruism is defined as behavior that reduces the reproductive fitness of an individual to increase the fitness of others. And in canines, we have seen that their social structure allows for cooperative behaviors, and it is these cooperative behaviors, like hunting and rearing and defending, that altruism is able to be displayed. We have also seen that interspecific altruism occurs, altruism between different species, such as humans and canines. And finally, we have looked at evidence that suggests that altruism is actually a hereditary trait and that these behaviors are indeed inheritable. So go be altruistic to your dog now. Thank you.